To the veteran. Hey, welcome to the Voice of the Veteran show, the #1 show in the entire nation for firsthand veteran experience at the VA. My name is Gail Ochiltree, Army Airborne veteran, and co-host Nicholas Cormier. There he is, Nicholas Cormier III, Air Traffic Control. Say hey, Nick.
How's everybody doing? Welcome to Voice of the Veteran.
There he is, the guy. Yeah, and in the back, we have our producer. I want to mention him too, because otherwise he'll just hang me up. I tell you, there he is, MC Franklin, running things in the back for us. Hey, Nicholas, I wanted to mention something. You know, this is a big world, and sometimes you just got to change buses, you know, in order to see the whole thing. So I just realized that now we have to put scuba tanks on to see the whole thing. You know, there's a thing called the Circle of Heroes Memorial in Florida, and it's the nation's first underwater dive memorial, and it officially opened to the public. And it's located, look at that, under the water. It's located 10 miles off of Clearwater, Florida. Again, it's called the Circle of Heroes. That's why, because they're in a circle. And the dive pays tribute to veterans who are currently serving in the armed forces. And after decades of planning, the Circle of Heroes opened in August 5th, 2019. Now, it has a bunch of 6-foot statues. Those statues you're seeing right there are like 6 feet tall, and they put them down in the water, and you can go swim up next to them and take pictures. And one of the memorials has all the bronze emblems of all the various branches of service: Army, Air Force, Coast Guard, Marines. What's the other one? Navy. Oh, Navy. Almost forgot. Jeez, sorry. Excuse me. Anyway, it's on the Veterans Reef, honoring the armed forces, providing a really unique dive experience for tourists and wounded warriors. And it's 40 feet down in the water. And currently 12 life-size concrete statues are there. And the goal is to put in like 24. And since this was launched, this memorial has boosted the dive-related tourism, attracting like visitors from all over the world to St. Petersburg and in the Clearwater area of Florida. Now, the memorial serves as a therapeutic dive site for disabled veterans suffering from PTSD, depression, and trauma. And additionally, the statues could become an artificial reef to help sustain the marine life in the Gulf waters. So, like I said, the ultimate goal is to have 24 statues down there. So I have a link here I'm going to put in so that everybody can go look at it and see more about it, because that's the first time that I saw it, Nicholas, and I was like, are you kidding me? I'm going to plan a trip, because I thought, man, what a cool thing. Don't you think that's cool?
I thought it was cool. That's a beautiful memorial.
Isn't it? Yes. I'm just amazed. I'm just absolutely amazed. So anyway, it's there in the chat. And I just wanted to show that to everybody because it actually got me kind of excited. It's a unique way to see memorials and honor veterans. So now I want to mention, Tess Banco's been on the show with us and stuff, and I want to always promote things at the Family Wellness Center. You always call it the VWC.
VFWC, Veteran Family Wellness Center?
That's right. You always have the letters down right. I just call it the Family Wellness Center, or the long version for some reason, but I don't know. But anyway, they have something coming up called for women veterans. But I'm sure you'd want to be in on this too, but you can't. It's just for women.
I got invited to it. I actually got invited to that through the Evite. I shared it with my friends who are female veterans, but I did receive an invitation.
Well, it's for a Pamper Me Day. So if you want to be pampered, Nicholas, you can get in on this, because I'm sure we'd love to have you there. And so voluntary services and the Family Wellness Center are both in on this. And I think MC, you have a flyer for this. You could put that up anytime. It's like May 7th when that comes up. And that link that's in the chat box, there it is. That's the Pamper Me. What is it? Pamper Me Day Tea. I don't know. Pamper Me Tea Day. I don't know. Anyway, it's a cool thing because, I mean, you get all kinds of fun stuff. I mean, there's gift bags and all kinds of things. And you do have to sign up. So that link is in the chat box. You need to register because it is limited attendance, because they just have a certain number of bags and food and things, and they need to plan in advance. So, Nicholas, if you're going to attend that, I suggest you sign your butt up right away, because it's a cool thing.
Stopping by, Gail, No, but what I noticed,
I love you. You're so funny.
I was surprised when I got the e-bike, but what really dawned on me was it appears that this is like in person. It's not like a Zoom virtual thing, right? This is an actual show up.
Yeah, we're going to breathe on each other.
Yes, that's what's so cool about it. It means we move forward. Yeah, that's so cool.
That's good of you to point that out, because, I mean, that's just not been something that we do. But, overall, the hospital, I think later in the show, we're going to talk about how the hospital's opening up a little bit and show some of the offices and stuff and, what's going on there. But, this is really good. I mean, we're actually going to get to see each other and talk silliness,
Well,
I can't wait.
I guess for our viewers out there, this is at the West LA VA. So we're out here in Los Angeles. So we haven't actually been out and around each other for a while. So this is new for us out here in Los Angeles.
It's going to be over there, I think, in Tessa's place there at 220. And in the back and in the basement there, they have a really cool thing where they've got the rose garden, and you can walk into the bottom there, and it's wide open, so you can go inside and outside at the same time, and it's very welcoming. It's just a lovely place.
Truly is.
Now, I want to include just real quick, Nicholas, I was talking to some of the social workers at VA West LA just this past week. Shannon Santini and her group, because they work a lot with CTRS out there in the tent camp. And I absolutely I'm going to send this information here into the chat with their numbers and their direct contact. If anyone has any questions or needs help, these are the people that can give you some answers for whatever it is you need to know out there. I mean, how do I contact the tent camp? How do I, whatever. But this is current information and people's names. And I just wanted to include that. And, I know you also want to talk about the domiciliary. And this is kind of, I want to transition into that. So you go for it.
Well, absolutely. But also to piggyback off what you were saying with the CTRs and the things being dropped in the chat. I was out there, I believe on Friday, and I met up with the chaplain out there and saw the tent encampment and that CTRS is heading up with the lady you mentioned and everything. And it was super cool. It was good to see. They do have guards out there and everything. I didn't get to get a tour. So next time I'm going to probably call one of these numbers and see if I can get a tour of the tent encampment.
Tell them tell Shannon I said, hey, because I think she's terrific. Yeah, she would love to do that.
She was on lunch, but I'll be back. No. It was there, and it was great to be out there. There's a lot of good work and a lot of people going out there to help support CTRS.
Yeah.
Oh, domiciliary. Yes. Yeah. One of the things I wanted to share with our viewers was the domiciliary program or domiciliary care program. And that's the Department of Veteran Affairs, VA, oldest health care program. It's established through legislation passed in the late 1860s. The domiciliary's purpose was to provide a home for disabled volunteer soldiers of the Civil War. And domiciliary care was initially established to provide services to economically disadvantaged veterans, and it remains committed to serving that group. The domiciliary has evolved from a soldier's home concept to become an active clinical rehabilitation and treatment program for male and female veterans. And domiciliary programs are now integrated into what is the mental health residential rehabilitation and treatment programs. And the reason I wanted to share that with our viewers is because I've actually been to the domiciliary. You know, I'm an Air Force veteran. I was an air traffic controller. In which some might say sometimes that's like the number one highest stress-filled job in the world. So, you know, it made me feel some kind of way. But I was able to go to the domiciliary at the West LA VA campus. And of course, the domiciliary does still service economically disadvantaged veterans. And that's something I saw firsthand. And that's something I wanted to share with our viewers. But that's not all that is serviced there. What was domiciliary life like? Well, it was, you know, a reintegration into a structured system for a veteran who may have all kinds of things going on. But for me, I know you have everything being treated there. Well, I'd say a wide array of things being treated. So you have post-traumatic stress, depression, anxiety, all of the different things that we deal with as veterans. You have substance abuse being treated there. You have combat track at the time for combat veterans. And we're all there together. And what it was for me is, you have access to doctors. So you have doctors out there on the bottom floor of the West LA VA's domiciliary. We had a personal doctor that could, if you had been out on the streets, which was my case, I was coming from being homeless. So now I have firsthand veteran medical care for the first time. So I was able to get so many things accomplished, so many tests and labs run to see, hey, where am I health-wise? Now that's just the beginning, because there's also a schedule. There's a schedule. You can choose your classes and what it is as a veteran. It's almost like a university system for a veteran, and you get to learn different things. Now, you can be on an A schedule, B schedule, C schedule, but you're in classes the majority of the day. And it's only on Fridays that you may have a little time free to go do something else. But otherwise, from breakfast, I say chow is about 7 a.m. in the morning. And then you have lunch, of course, and dinner, but you're in classes all the way up till dinner time.
I didn't know that. I do you think it was that way back when was it, 1887 or whatever, when the old soldiers home, it was called, right? Before.
Yes, it was the soldiers home.
Do you think they went through classes like that? Or do you think those old soldiers just kind of hung out around the VA? I mean, you know
what? It's interesting. I would say it probably was something similar, but maybe the structure comes from the mental health residential and rehabilitation and treatment program aspect, because a lot of that was that. Now, for me, I will say, and this isn't to get too far off subject, but I was able to walk across the street and go to the Veteran Family Wellness Center. So I took a lot of my courses there because that approach worked really well for me. But just wanted to share a little bit about domiciliary life. Also say that, yes, there's some great programs for depression management. So if you're a veteran out there experiencing major depression or even depression at all, domiciliaries can help. And it's also a residential program, so it's focused. And you can do 30, 60, or 90 days and even ask for extensions month by month. Now, for me, coming from homelessness, I extended quite a bit. I actually stayed at the domiciliary for 8 months, which is extraordinarily long. But just like when I was in college and in university, I didn't want to leave until I was able to do what I went there to do. And that's why I stayed there that long. So depression management's there. Anxiety management is there also. There's also prolonged exposure treatment for veterans with PTSD. And if you're a homeless veteran, you do have an opportunity to look into the VASH system, which is the VA subsidized housing system. And I was able to get hooked up with VASH. I was also able to work with Service Connection and go to the federal building out here in West Los Angeles and turn in my claims and put in my claims and everything through that system.
Sure.
I did want to speak a little bit, Gail, about one of the programs that I was in that taught me a lot, and that was DBT. And for our viewers and veterans out there, that may not know of DBT is dialectical behavior therapy. This is something that really worked for me because coming from where I'd come from, there was a lot of frustration. There was a lot of anxiety built up, particularly in communication. Say when you're trying to get benefits as a veteran, or when you're trying to get housing and you're not housed, and I'm encountering obstacles all the time. It seems like so much is against me. So DBT helped because it teaches a range of skills of interpersonal relationships, right? Emotion management, and a lot more. And I wanted to share with our viewers and veterans a couple of things that I learned there that still play into my life today, especially in interpersonal relationships. And they're acronym based. So one of them was Dear Man, right? Dear Man was something that I had to learn because it's called Dear Man. The acronym is Dear Man, at DEARMAN. And Dear Man, yes, Dear Man teaches a strategy for effective communication. Using that skill, we learn to express our needs and our wants in a way that's respectful to ourselves and to others. And ultimately want our goal. Like I wanted service benefits, I wanted help, and I needed to learn how to communicate. And especially coming from the homeless and a lot of veterans I've seen, even my fellow veterans on the combat track and everything, we were all together in the same class learning some of these skills so we could communicate what our needs and what our wants were so we could get a positive outcome out of it. So that's why I wanted to share. Dear Man it reminds us of what to say, and it also reminds us of how to say it. So the D is describe. So whatever the situation is, describe that situation, you request it, and you in the simplest way you can using facts. Then E is the express. Okay, express to whoever I'm speaking to how I'm feeling about whatever situation. I'm feeling some kind of way. Well, I'm going to tell you how I'm feeling. And it says, I feel blank, whatever that situation is, when this is going on. And it's expressing feelings of accountability and ownership. And then the A is about assertion. It's like assert yourself. I know for me, when you're depressed and you're walking around and you're feeling a lot of anxiety, it can be difficult to assert, particularly because it can come out in an aggressive way, or it can just be muted and be reticent. So learning how to assert was important. The assert in Dear Man is assert yourself. This is going to be where you just ask for what you need and what you want. Or you say no. And you don't have to apologize for making that request or saying no. And that's something that I was able to learn. There's also the reinforce aspect of it. So reinforce is, hey, I've spoken to you, I've described my situation, I've expressed it to you, I've also asserted myself. And now, however you might respond, say you actually do what I asked you to do, you've been mindful of it, then there's the R, which is to reinforce that. And you reinforce that message you're conveying, or you stand firm and you just say no, but you be sure that the other person understands how participating in your request by you saying no helps you achieve your interpersonal goal, and it strengthens your relationships. It's also about settling and maintaining personal boundaries and boundary setting.
Well, is there an FU in there anywhere?
Well, there was an FU, but we did that all the whole time I was in active duty. I was on the FU track.
That's right. That's right.
I did that very well. I learned that acronym early.
That's right. I just wanted to bring that up because that's probably what you don't want to say, because that's a really excellent list of what you brought up. I'm impressed. I just wish I'd had a pen and wasn't on live here because it was good information.
I can send you this. This is just kind of familiarizing veterans with it, but also, of course, Gail, there's going to be veterans coming to you as a VSO that they're feeling, veterans are feeling some kind of way. I know I was feeling some kind of way, and this helped me be able to speak to other people, even in those days where I was feeling pent up or feeling frustrated. I was able to go back to some of this dialectical behavior therapy and express myself. Now, I just want to close out with the man part, because I said, dear man.
Oh, yeah.
The man part is about mindfulness. So it's mindful. It's being mindfulness of your tone. So Gail and I talk about veterans going into the hospital requesting things, and we've alluded to being mindful, because these are people who are at work, they're on their jobs. A lot of the times they're not behind whatever our frustrations are as veterans. So the M in man is mindfulness, being mindfulness of the tone and body language while I'm communicating. I definitely don't want to appear threatening, because you don't want to get flagged. You know what that is. I know some veterans been flagged by the VA. They do have a flag system. You don't want to get flagged, right? So that's the man part. And our words can convey one thing, while our tone and body may be expressing something completely different. So it's like being mindful of our facial expressions. And I know for some of us who've dealt with various things that we deal with as veterans, this part about eye contact can be difficult. It was for me. I wasn't trying to look anybody in the eye because I'm caught up in whatever I'm feeling. So it's also about learning how to make that eye contact, which might be reinforced by prolonged exposure treatment. If you're a veteran dealing with PTSD, there may be other things that work in concert that can help some of this stuff come into play, like making eye contact, which I know initially for me was challenging, because I was isolated from the world. I was shut in, and I had to kind of come out into the sunshine. That was a long process, but I just wanted to share that part. The A part is appear confident, right? This is another one, right? There may be a lot of other treatment that a veteran may go through to help with this part of it, but it's appearing confident through your upright posture, maintaining that eye contact, and then believing that whatever it is he or she wants and needs or deserves is met, and being willing to receive whatever it is a veteran may be asking for. So that's part of the appear confident. And the next part is negotiate with the other person. So whenever something's going on, be willing to be flexible within a situation and negotiate. And remember, we're not demanding anything, we're asking. And also, we may need to compromise and find a solution that works for both of us. For me, I just wanted my roommate to stop pissing on the floor.
Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, I would want that too. I don't know that there's any negotiation there, except for to give him a damn towel and say, clean that up.
Well, that's another thing with the domiciliary. This veteran was older. This was an older veteran who was in his 60s and was also had disabilities. So it was also about me identifying what the veteran could do. So what I found at the end of that situation was, I'm saying, hey, can you do this? Ultimately, that veteran could not do what I was asking that veteran to do. Probably there was a better fit for that veteran, because the domiciliary is about, a lot of the veterans are doing chores and moving around. That veteran may have needed to be somewhere else where somebody could help. There was a nurse aide or somebody who could help clean up urine and things like that. But I didn't discover that until I went through the process of using acronyms.
Until you slipped on the floor and hit your head. I understand.
Yeah, exactly. But it helped me a lot. It still helps me with everything I'm doing. It's something I wanted to share with veterans. I could go on all day, but I just wanted to give a brief overview about the domiciliaries and let veterans know, because I met a veteran on the street the other day, a homeless veteran, and whether I told him about the domiciliary, and I told him I had been there. He had actually been to a domiciliary, I believe, in Massachusetts, but I was saying, hey, I've been to the one where we are now in West LA, and there's some great programs there that helped me, but I know can help a lot of veterans too. So I just wanted to share that about the domiciliary, Gail.
I think that's really a great overview. I mean, that's a great list, and I absolutely want to incorporate that in my own life, because I have to actually train myself as a new VSO to not say what I'm actually thinking. You know what I mean? Because I think some of the lousiest stuff sometimes, and I don't want to say that because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, because I know I know a lot of times when let's just take my perspective and let me own this myself. I've yelled at people. Oh my gosh, I yelled at this woman in the business office, poor Lorraine Lozano. I mean, to tell you, I'm surprised she didn't throw me out of her office. But, I mean, we're good friends now, but people have problems sometimes and they go in and what they're yelling about isn't even the issue that's coming out of their mouth. They have other things going on and they're desperate and all they want to do is get this thing out of the way, just whatever the problem, can we just, I just want my benefits, and then there are other veterans that come in, Nicholas, that act as though I'm supposed to create an ATM for them, a government ATM. And they don't understand that it's not a matter of, you actually have to qualify for these benefits. There's paperwork to do. And when they come in, they get frustrated because they don't get, benefits immediately somehow. I mean, it can take a year or more.
Yeah, a lot longer.
I mean, I don't know how long it took for you, but it took a long time for me. And
it took less than a year for me, but I was extraordinarily fortunate because of the system, the domiciliary.
And that's what I'm thinking.
I was able to actually go to a computer room down there and write my statement. I had peer support specialists downstairs that that work with me on my statement. So there's a lot of things out there that can help the veteran. But I identify with what you're saying, Gail, because no one wants to be the person in line, in the grocery store that's yelling at the clerk that's been there for 10 hours during the pandemic, and then and we're taking out our frustrations on that clerk who's really just an essential worker out there, and that's what helps is it helped me anyway. These type of things helped me be able to articulate and really just follow that acronym in my mind, especially in the tough times when I'm feeling like I'm feeling some kind of way. And I don't want to take that out on somebody that is just a meaning, an innocent bystander, really, in life.
Well, yeah, like the program managers. I mean, I just realized there's a whole group of people out there. Every time there's a program, there's a manager of that program at the VA. There's a women's health program manager, Renee Andresian, that was on the show. There's a Shannon Santini is the program manager of the LGBTQ. I never can list all the letters. I apologize, but that program and they work with CTRS and all that kind of stuff. But the program managers are always getting pounded by the veterans, and veterans are have very strong characters, and they come on strong because that's what we've been trained to do. And we have to tone that down if we're going to live with the civilians. It's just true,
Yes, it can be hard for a civilian to win with a veteran. I know that it can be very difficult. It seems like in my experience, it's a lot easier for me to talk to another veteran and open up to another veteran than a civilian. And these acronyms help me with that.
I agree with you absolutely with that, but we do need to treat them nicely and also understand when some of them don't know what they're doing or when they're treating us badly. And that's why your list is so incredibly important, because if we can assess, negotiate, be flexible, and do all of these things that you were talking about, we'll just be better off dealing with the civilians in the hospital, who are learning to understand us. And you know what? We've got students from UCLA and everything coming in and out of there and training and whatever else. And I think a lot of times when new veterans come to the hospital, that they don't realize that there are people that are in training for their medical licensing or care or whatever else. And they have no clue about veterans or about the VA process. So we have to be careful to know about the VA process ourselves, and in fact, go see a VSO who is certified and trained to know about that kind of stuff. And if they don't, they need to be going and asking their supervisor and finding out what that right information actually is, and not sending some veteran on a goose chase. Oh, here we go. Looky, this is my new office. Franco just put this up.
Wow.
See there? That's my new sign. I got a new laminated sign. It says Gail Ochiltree, VSO, LACC, Central,
I can't see what it says now, but
there,
wow.
yeah. And there's the printer. No, look at they redid the office and got carpet and all kinds of stuff out of there. And it's all nice and clean now. It's like, oh, there's my desk right there. Impressive, isn't it? No, but yes. I just got in there recently. Oh, and I wanted to mention those things. You've seen those all over the hospital, right, Nicholas? Those air purifiers. They've got them.
I like when I see those.
Yeah. But now if they've got these air purifiers all over the place, and then you see those green things on the wall, looks like a sconce, or something, a sconce that holds a light and puts the light up on the wall. Well, if they've got bug sconces and air purifiers, there's something wrong. I'm telling you, maybe they just need to clean up some more. But I mean, every time I see those bug things in there, I go, oh man, what the heck is this? Oh, now here we go. Now I wanted to show you, it's because of all the construction. This isn't a complaint about the VA, but it kind of is, because they can't help it because we're in transition with all the construction going on. But this is the parking, handicap parking. You see that license plate? That's handicapped license plate. And that person right there had to park on an incline with, and get out of their car and get their walker out or whatever the heck else, and then try to go up to, show me the next one, Franco. That next picture with the staircase, those steps. They go from that parking lot that is downhill and all bumpy and everything to those staircases. And that is my phone, and I'm going to pick it up and let you talk for a second so that I can get this shut off. This is incredible.
Hey, everybody. Well, you know what? I've got another acronym. And I also wanted to say, if you're interested in dialectical behavior therapy as a veteran, and you want to know if it's right for you, DBT might be effective treatment for attention deficit or hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, bipolar disorder, eating disorder, such as anorexia or nervosa, binge eating disorder, bulimia, nervosa, generalized anxiety disorder, or GAD, major depressive disorder, including treatment-resistant depression or chronic depression, obsessive compulsive disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, and substance use disorder. DBT, or dialectical behavior therapy, can be useful if you have any of those disorders as a veteran. And I wanted to just share that with you. Also, I have another acronym, Gail, but I can't be.
How long?
It's short. This one's not as long as.
Oh, good, because I could memorize that last one. It was like, if you hadn't said a name for it, I would be going.
This one's super short. It's GIVE. So one of the acronyms I learned also in exercises that we worked on was GIVE. GIVE is to improve relationships and positive communication as well. And GIVE, the G means gentle. Be gentle. Don't attack, threaten, or judge others. And then there's interest. Show interest with good listening skills, and don't interrupt someone else to speak when they're speaking. Validate is also validating whatever is going on. Acknowledge the other person's thoughts and feelings. Now, what I learned in DBT too is validation can be something that says, like, a validation would be, man, I'm feeling really bad today. I feel horrible. This person ran over my shoe. And my validation would be, I can see how that could be upsetting. So that's an example of validating, is I can see how that is, or what. I learned that in DBT. Also, the E is easy. Try to have an easy attitude, smile often, be lighthearted, and that helps. So the acronym is GIVE: gentle, interest, validate, easy.
Yeah, I could see how you could kiss my ass. That's it right there sometimes in my head. I swear to God, I just have to think about what I'm thinking before I open my mouth.
Yeah, Gail, I mean, I can't speak to kissing ass. I mean, the last thing, Gail, I would be in a mansion right now if I knew how to kiss an ass.
I'll tell you, it's rugged. Well, they didn't have all these little organizations when I was growing up, these little community organizations for girls, unless you count, Maggie's house up there on the hill. You know what I mean? I mean, those girls, they would do anything. They'd stand on their heads to help you out. But, I understand that cost you another $10. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a different kind of situation altogether. Yes.
Absolutely. Gil, were you going to do an education announcement
Yes, I am. I'm looking for it right now. Lost my mind with that telephone. I forgot to unplug it. You know what I mean? Stuff happens.
I've got something here about education announcement access. And I know there's a chat box link. It's the www.va.gov/education/about-GI-bill-benefits. And it's about compare colleges with the VA, like planning on how to use your GI Bill benefits to fund your education. Also, the GI Bill comparison tool can help you find the right school if you're interested. The tool provides an estimate of your GI Bill benefits, as well as information about each college's value and affordability. I have that link. I don't know if MC has the link in the back.
No, I'm going to put the chat box for you.
Okay, it's in the chat.
I put it in the chat box.
Awesome.
Well, you and I are a team. We're a team. I got it.
Awesome. That's all I had on. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me, Gail?
Okay. Oh, I thought it froze there a second. We're just having technical stuff going on, or I am on this computer. I don't know.
No, that's the education announcement access, which is really, really helpful for veterans who are looking to use your GI benefits. I wish that I had access to a tool like that allowed me to estimate my GI Bill benefits and figure out a college's value and affordability for me. I have a veteran friend who just got accepted into USC, and guess what? The GI Bill does not cover all of her costs. So she's writing like crazy, scholarships and everything else. She could absolutely use a tool like this, as I'm sure a lot of veterans could.
And Voc Rehab too, I imagine.
Yeah. Yes. Now I'm going to speak to her about vocational rehab. I don't know because the GI Bill has not been fully utilized yet. So I don't know if the Voc Rehab benefits actually kick in until the GI Bill is exhausted. I don't know.
What's her service connection? What level?
It's not at 100%. I know that.
Okay, because I'm just going through the VSO list of things to, mention regarding that kind of stuff. Here's my tip regarding, she's looking for grants and scholarships and stuff. This is my Gail tip. I think it's important for veterans to create a spreadsheet for college grants, tuitions, and applications so that you're not researching or trying to find all these things at the last minute. And if you have that plan in the future, for your future, you don't have to wait, like I said, till the last minute to try to find these resources because, it's really a difficult thing. I don't want to say it's impossible. It's not impossible. Nothing's impossible. But, it's like we need to look at some kind of a brokerage or some kind of place where you can just put in your various things about who you are, what school you want to go to, and click the various elements. And then those grants and things would pop up and you would have those links available. I wonder if there's something like that I don't know about, but I'm going to be looking for it as a VSO because, seems like a right thing to have around.
And another thing for veterans, I know what I learned when applying to school and everything. Believe it or not, timing matters. I think sometimes the trial run. I just applied to USC's master screenwriting program. Long process, learned a lot along the way, but you know what? It prepares me to do it again. And sometimes as a veteran, what I've learned is just getting started. Those benefit claims forms, even looking for a school and a college can be very, very frustrating to a veteran because it can, once again, like we were talking about DBT, a lot of things can kind of pile up and it's frustrating. And it's like, all I have to do is just write down one word, one letter, and that would be enough to move me forward because I hadn't had that word or letter written down before. That usually grows. It's like doing one push-up for me. Filling out one piece of paperwork actually still causes me some anxiety. Like when I have an application in front of me, I can still be like, there's paperwork to fill out. And then I go back to some of this training and skills and use links like the one you just provided our viewers. And that helps me move forward. And of course, VSOs are huge because I've had VSOs actually fill out that paperwork for me when I'm
maybe.
Yeah. Yes, VSOs have filled out that paperwork if I felt overwhelmed to buy anything.
Oh, well, sure. If you're feeling overwhelmed, not just because somebody's lazy, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right.
If somebody's feeling overwhelmed, absolutely, I'd want to help them out. Sure, of course.
Yes. I mean, and what I've learned is most veterans, sometimes, I mean, you've got veterans dealing with PTSD, anxiety, depression.
Yeah.
A form can be very overwhelming. I've learned firsthand experience as a veteran that it can be overwhelming. So and I'd say maybe it's not the VSOs, not every VSO will, but peer support will do it. I know peer support is right there because peer support has filled them out, and usually they've received a service connection at a pretty high level, and that's what has kind of inspired them to give back. So they'll sit down, and there's hours available for them to sit down with you, and they'll fill it out with you. I'm in VASH, so I have a case manager. My case manager still fills out paperwork for me. If I'm saying,
that's nice.
If I'm saying, hey, it's overwhelming me, he will still fill out that paperwork. He's veteran also, went to USC.
Oh, that's why.
Sit down and fill out paperwork if I need him to. If I'm saying, hey, this is one more thing in my life that I can't really handle right now as a veteran, and then that's when another veteran will step in.
Too, a lot of times people think that their educational benefits are exhausted when they aren't. I mean, you should always try. If you want to go to school, you should try. Did I tell you that story about the guy that I sent to LA Valley College because he couldn't get into physical therapy? Did I mention that?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay. There's sometimes the VA is overwhelmed with, so many people in physical therapy. I don't know that it's that situation right now. I don't know what's going on with, the coronavirus and everything else. But at one point, a guy came to me and he says, well, I was after surgery and they only gave me like 4 to 6 times going to physical therapy. And I said, well, let's think about this just a second. I said, you have educational benefits and it's free for you to go to LA Valley College. I said, what say you go over there and I'll hook you up with the representative over there, the vet representative, and you sign up for school for a gym class. What do you think? He goes, oh, well, sure. If I can go to the gym every day, I think that's a great idea. And I said, yeah. And then some little cutie's going to be there trying to get her degree and she's going to want to help you out and design some kind of exercise program for you, for somebody who actually needs her help. And she's not just doing this with all the young students and everything. And she'll be happy to help you. That guy almost has an AA now, and he didn't even care about going to school. But every time he signed up, he took a different class and he started, talking to the younger generation about, I think it was politics. They were fighting over it and everything else. And he was having a wonderful time just trying to straighten those youngsters out. You know what I mean? And so, we need to think creatively about the benefits that we have, because our educational benefits might be available at some place like LA Valley College where there's a very low or no tuition involved for veterans. And you can then get that gym class and in lieu of physical therapy with a doctor's note and what's good for you to do in a class like that and all kinds of stuff. So we just have to think creatively. Our benefits are absolutely fantastic at the VA, but we need to think about how to creatively utilize them Here's another one. Hey, I got one here that about buying your own home. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to put this link up here. I've got a link right here. And I wanted to mention this because I have a VA loan on my home. A lot of members of my family, a lot of my friends have VA home loans. And they change over the years. Down payment may not even be required, for a VA home loan. I mean, you have to check this stuff out. Everybody's different, not one size fits all with any of these benefits. If you go see a VSO about benefits, one size does not fit all. Just because I have something doesn't mean Nicholas, or just because Nicholas has something doesn't mean I have it. I mean, you know, you have to check these things out. It's important. So a VA guaranteed home loan requires little or no down payment. You choose the VA home loan program, you know, at the time when you buy your home, and a VA direct and VA backed veterans home loan can help you actually get into the home that you actually want, not something you have to put up with, but actually, and this is for everybody, and you know, and they're survivors as well. You know, VA home loans, you know, can help you, you know, refinance into a VA loan, out of a VA loan. You'll still need to have, you know, the required credit and income, for goodness sakes. You know, they're not just out there trying to, you know, finance a bunch of people that can't actually afford it. I mean, that's not doing you any favors. You
I
know,
don't understand. I mean, it seemed like around in 2008, that was easy to do. I remember I was looking for a house in 2008. They told me I could get any house I wanted to. Didn't matter how much it cost. Why?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You want to live on what is it, the 700 block there on Beverly Boulevard in Beverly Hills, you know. Just,
I said, I'm waiting the tables. He said, it doesn't matter. Sign here.
That's right. That's right. I want the fountain with the little boy peeing in the pond. You know, I mean, absolutely, yes. So, you know,
excuse me, Gail. I didn't. What?
So
I don't want the little boy peeing in the pond.
You got to have that out front. You know, that's just the way it is. You know, but I think it's like 90% of VA-backed loans are made with no down payment, by the way. You know, of course, if you put a down payment on a house, then your monthly mortgage is going to be less. Duh. So, you know, you want to keep that combat pay and not buy a bunch of television sets and a bunch of silliness. You know, save it for a house because, you know, you want that equity and you know, you want a house if you can, you know, for crying out loud. So there's all kinds of loan types. And, you know, so learn the new VA direct and VA backed home loans that work for you and find out what kind of loan, you know, might be right for your financial situation. You know, check that out. And then the eligibility, find out if you get, there's a thing, it's green, okay? It's green, this certificate. It's a certificate of eligibility, or a COE, okay? That's the acronym for it. Eligibility certificate for a VA direct or VA backed home loan based on your service history and duty status. Now, I have some kids that are still active duty, and they were just able to buy a home near the base where they're stationed. You know, I mean, that's something active duty people can do as well. So how do you apply for a COE or a certificate of eligibility? You find out how to apply, and you do what you do next is you get the VA direct or the VA back loan. I think I got my certificate of eligibility. Of course, I'm going to say this, and then I know I'm going to get an email from my friend in the business office. But I think that I got my certificate of eligibility in the business office. Ooh, don't throw anything.
You know what? I can't verify that. I know that I was working with a company that worked with veterans on my VA loan. This back when a brother had a real job, but you know, I was working, and what I found was it was actually challenging because yes, the VA loan said, hey, you've got 419,000 available or whatever, which in California, that's really not a lot of money. No. It was nice, but I had a certain price point in mind, right? My rent was X amount of dollars. I didn't want to pay more than whatever my rent was. I wanted something that was commensurate, thinking about potential property taxes or any other extra costs that a house might have. So I said, I want my monthly payment to be here. which actually affected things like the down payment or other things that I had. So there was a formula that I had to follow, but there was an organization that was helping me with that. And it'd be cool if we could find organizations that could help veterans with that, because I know for me, say, yes, my family owns homes and things like that, but there's a lot of veterans who this is a first-time process for. And I think as much help and as much information as a veteran can go from thinking in terms of paying rent to owning a home is important, because that leap of the mind and even knowing that that's possible is I believe more, in my experience, far more challenging for some than others may see. And so any help that I could help with, give, I'll even look at some information, see if we can bring it to our
I
viewers.
think it's a good idea. For spouses too, surviving spouses. That's a group that I really want to have this information too, because exactly what do surviving spouses, what do they qualify for? I can't even get my mouth around that. Qualify for, when their veteran passes away.
Right. Well, I know you have a great contact. I know you have a great contact who helps with survivor benefits and information for survivors of veterans, surviving spouses for veterans and stuff like that. You're right. I mean, I know I can speak from my experience. I know thinking in terms of home ownership is something that I'm still moving toward as a veteran. It's something I think a lot of veterans actually want to take advantage of. It's a great, the VA loan is an amazing thing, right? I don't know. I would love to see the numbers on how many veterans and what the breakdown and demographics of were of who's actually utilizing that VA loan and what that process is for the various veterans that we have concerning that loan. Because I want to make sure many veterans who want to live in a house can live in a house.
Absolutely. And also information on trouble making payments. I would like to see us, some kind of link access or exactly, to keep, avoid foreclosures. If you're struggling with a monthly mortgage payments, what do you do with regard to a VA loan? I mean, there are all kinds of little options there, and I can't list them off right now, but that's something that I think that would be helpful to our viewers as well. So anything we could do to live in a house and have our own thing that we take care of rather than, making somebody else's dreams come true. As I always say, that's what renters are doing. We need to have our own stuff and make our own dreams come true.
You mentioned this word. Yes, you mentioned a word and it was weird. It was equity. What is equity? I've never heard of equity. I don't think I have equity in anything.
No, renters don't have equity. No, that's it.
No,
come on now.
Word of the day is equity.
That's right.
I already know what my takeaway today is going to be. It's going to be equity.
Equity. That's right. I remember that. Hey, let's talk about jobs and careers so you can pay for that mortgage. I've just found one about this pest control thing, and I think it's really cool. I actually have I don't know. Oh, looky, he's got the flyer. I've got a flyer right here too. Yes, absolutely. I'll just read this about this situation now. Oh, wait a minute. I've got information for the chat box. Let's put that up there so that people can see this PowerPoint on this pest control job, because I thought it was a pretty good paying job and stuff and training and whatever else. And there's a PowerPoint presentation, and people can access it through this number here as soon as I get to it. Here we go. And here it is. Boom. There it is. And this is a pest control job. And I can't remember how long the training is for this. I'm looking for it right now, but you will be able to find out all this information on the PowerPoint presentation for this pest control job. Now, I think that they ought to get that job and immediately start off at the VA getting rid of all their pests, because we got all those bug control lights up there like I was talking about before. I mean, You want to go in there, and sometimes I think, man, I just want to start scratching and stuff, like, why do they feel like they need these bugs? I mean, everyone. What'd you say?
I've lived at the VA. Pest control is not at the forefront of whatever's going on there. I can attest to that.
Isn't that a fact, man?
No, there's a lot of pests. I do see them killing gophers and stuff out there, which
there's
is really
a lot of holes out there, man.
A whole lot of holes out there on the West LA VA campus. But it's interesting. The pest control thing is that, for me, that's not my jam. I'm afraid of roaches. That's not my jam. But
yeah, but somebody wants a job. I want to bring up some career stuff. You know what I mean? Here's some place that you can get some money so you can buy a house. You know what I mean? I'm serious. So anyway, yeah, that's it.
Huh. But there's also I know
a smoke bomb would do it. I'm going to take a little one of those gopher killer smoke bombs and drop it down the hole and see how many places it comes up all over the VA. I mean, serious.
I'm sensitive. I love animals. I hate seeing gophers get smoked out like that. I hate seeing those poor gophers get smoked out like that.
Oh my God. Oh, I got one more. Here's a vet to vet before we wrap this up and do our wrap and recap. I have a flyer right here. It's called Vet to Vet, and it's at Sepulveda VA, and it's veteran peer support meetings. And you got to wear a mask. Oh, yeah, Corona. Got to wear a mask and social distancing. But that number, I'm going to give you that number. I'm just going to say it out loud because I don't have this written down, but it's 818-645-5653. 818-645-5653. And they have peer support meetings. So you can go out, visit with other veterans, see what their firsthand experience is at the VA, and chat it up with them, and they will be able to help you out as well. How about a wrap and recap, Mr. Equity?
Yeah, well, hey, I would love to get some wrap and recap. My number one takeaway for the day is equity. E-G-I. How you spell it?
You got to learn to spell that first.
Equity is my takeaway.
When you call up Quicken Loans, man, they're going to want to know how to spell equity. You betcha.
Oh, man, I'm going to find out, guys. Fellow veterans, I'm going to look up the definition. I'm going to make sure I have that for you next week. I want to share equity news as much as I can. I know many of you heard about it, but equity sounds great.
That's right. Equity. Yeah, I think I'm trying to get this 654 5653 in the chat, because I hate not giving people the number when I have it right in front of me like this. So I'm thinking I'm still mesmerized over the underwater memorial. See, I can't underground. Yeah, right. That's the cemetery.
Yeah, no, I was blown away by that underwater memorial. I was absolutely blown away by that. That is an amazing way.
Amazing tribute.
Yes, to veteran service. That was a great find, a great share.
I want to go swimming down there and say hello to all those guys. I'm telling you, I really, really do.
Diving?
The VA has scuba classes, because I know our friend Kim Morrow told us she's going to start some kind of scuba class or something. Yeah, they're free for veterans.
Gail, I know we've got like T-minus 50 seconds left. I just wanted to say that I really appreciate the opportunity to share with our viewers and fellow veterans about the domiciliary treatment programs. And I am committed to bringing more of that information forward. That was just the tip of the iceberg as far as programs for treatment for veterans is concerned. But I definitely am grateful for the opportunity to share with veterans some of the programs that I participated in that have really helped me.
Let's get some of the social workers on the show to talk about this kind of stuff and their direct experience with what's going on out there too. You know what I mean?
and veterans who've experienced them along with that.
Absolutely.
I think,
Both of them. Both of them.
a veteran's experience of the program can be very, very helpful. That's how I learned which classes to take, was listening to what worked for other veterans, and veterans sharing what their experience were with something like prolonged exposure, which I didn't take that, but I learned about it, and then I started to implement it in my daily life.
Interesting. Interesting.
So,
Okay.
to our viewers,
Well, this has been the Voice of the Veteran Show. Thank you, Nicholas. Thank you so much. It was a great conversation. I think we delivered a lot of good news and information for veterans. And did you want to say one more thing in wrapping up?
No, I just wanted to say, have a great week, everybody. This has been Voice of the Veteran.
We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.